Mason Cox going to play this week?
No, we'll rule Mason out. That ankle just hasn't come up for us, and best performed VFL player over the last month has been Ben Reid, and he's been in great form and has been doing a little bit of ruck work as well. So it's basically a like-for-like replacement and reward for a really good block of form. So we're looking forward to for Reedy to come in and play his role and be rewarded for his persistence through the early part of this year.
I guess there's a external view that he's become a little bit of the forgotten man, Ben Reid. How excited are you and proud that he's been able to work his way back from some pretty serious hurdles?
Yeah, I think when you've been part of the furniture at AFL level, premiership player, role has changed, games changed, roles changed. And you've had the injury concerns that he's had. They're all obstacles that you have to jump over at some stage throughout a career. They don't all come at once. And over the last 3 or 4 years, Reedy's really been tested. But his preparation through pre-season was as strong as ever, and his body's in as good a shape as it's been for a long time. So I'm sure that when he first had his injury concerns, he would have thought, if I can just get my body right, I'll be right. A lot changes pretty quickly at the elite level, and Mason's jumped up in front of him, and Brody Myercheck's jumped up in front of him. But this is a chance for Reedy to come in and contribute and stake his claim. And his teammates are wrapped for him, and we're all looking forward to him just coming in and playing his role. He doesn't need to be a world beater, but he just comes in and assumes the role and contributes to the team performance.
So Mason's injury, that came from that incident late?
Yeah. I don't know how heavy Michael Hurley is, but he wouldn't be light, and his foot didn't slide off at all. It was right on the lower leg. So so there's a bit of swelling and bleeding there that hasn't come down as much as we would have hoped, and there's a little bit of swelling into the ankle. So it's enough to have Mason unavailable. He may be able to get up next week, but once again we'll have to see how the injury settles over the next 3, 4, 5 days.
Did you feel that it was a week that Brody would need the ruck support, given Ryder and Lysa?
No, Broad's rucked 90% of the game last week, so he will generally ruck the majority of the game, and he seems to grow and enjoy that challenge, whether it's against one main ruckman with a secondary or against teams that might share the load a little bit. We feel we've got enough ruck support for Brody, but we've got no fears of his capacity to stand up for the majority of the game.
Do you look at the way that they've worked over some opponent ruckmen, like Max Gawn particularly? Paddy Ryder's an All-Australian ruckman. He's played the role really well, and obviously Scott Lysett's come in as a young bloke, hungry, and getting the job done. So that is a challenge. Their clearance numbers are really good. They're scoring well from clearances. The last 2 teams we've played have been, at that point, the best scoring sides in the competition from stoppage. So we've defended stoppage pretty well. We haven't scored that well from them ourselves, but we've defended it well enough. We still feel like we've got a lot of upside in our capacity to clear the ball and get field position and score from it. But we come up against a side this week who are doing it number 1 in the comp at this point. So it's another test and challenge for us.
Elliott is going to confirm starter. He's moving out pretty well.
Yeah, he was, as we said last week, that he was probably 85% right, which was enough for us not to go with him. And the fact that Will was there and had done enough of a block of training to come in for us meant that we didn't feel like we lost too much. But Billy's right to go.
You mentioned a couple of weeks ago managing Elliott and Moore. Is Moore still 100% fine? Are you getting close to a point where he needs a break?
Yeah, be careful, sort of, I suppose, the answers that you give, because you might cop follow-up questions, Jules. But we want to manage and and support all our players through the entire season. And I know that I had the question around Billy and Darcy at that point, but I think the reality is that we'll manage our list across the board as well as we possibly can. You know, Darcy's travelling really well. He's backing up really well from games. He feels like he's blossoming week to week rather than sort of losing a couple of percent, which can happen and does happen. But at this point, Darcy's travelling really well.
Age not quite ready to come back?
No, he's that's going to be another week for Aishi, and I think one of the great, I suppose, unspoken burdens that you can carry if you're suffering concussion is the constant questioning about, are you going to be right this week or are you going to be right the next week? So I've spoken to Aishi about that, and it's eat well, sleep well, recover. When you're right, you're right. We're just taking that load off him. So he's doing exactly that, and he's coming good. He's in pretty good shape actually. He's tracking in the right direction. But we won't be selecting him this week, and our VFL don't have a game, so we won't play there either.
Daniel Wells has got a 3.
Yep.
Is he close to convincing you that he's ready to go, or is there still some work for him to do?
No, there's still work to do, and there's got to be an opportunity for him to come up. We've got some pretty good performing players at senior level at the moment. But Wellsy seems to, it's the old head. The old head, I think he realises that he's happy to build more gradually this time. He knows that when he comes up, he wants to stay there. So it's a matter of putting that block together and being absolutely cherry ripe when he puts his hand up. And I've got no doubt that there will be opportunities down the track for him sooner or later. And he's continuing to put together a block and make sure that he's right physically to do what he needs to do when he reaches senior level.
Didn't see Trelaw out there today. Bucks, is that a load thing or is it an issue?
No, just managing him, mate. He does a fair bit of work through the middle of the field, and as we've just spoken about, we periodically give our players a main session off, but Ads has done a lot of work off the track, and he's conditioned to a T, so not a concern for us.
Is this Port team barely recognisable to the one you played late last year?
Yeah, we've made that comment in some shape or form. We haven't really paid a lot of attention to the last time we played them, which, as you said, was really late in the home and away last year. And sometimes it's more appropriate than others, but at the moment they seem to be playing very differently to last year or the last couple of years. They're taking the game on flat out. We've got young blokes buzzing around. They're putting a lot of pressure on. Hunting ground ball, hunting contested ball. Numbers in the frame, and winning a lot of those contests, and then running out of those contests in waves. So, they ask a real question in that regard. They're defending as aggressively as anyone in the competition from behind the ball. We won't be under any illusions about what challenge they present, and they've played as consistently as anyone in the front half of the year, front part of the year. So, they're up and running. They're going to be a real handful.